boy.
Evan, you should be muted. Okay, our recording is officially starting. So today, what I wanted to do was go over our Module 1 assessment, but I still have lots and lots of kids that have not taken it. And I don't know who hasn't taken it. It's in my thing, but I have at least 14 kids who haven't taken it. And that's a big stinking number. So we cannot go over it today. So we're just going to move on and hopefully we'll be able to review it. So sometime today, you need to double check your HMH account and go to assignments. And if you have a test or a quiz you need to take that because they are already late. Okay? And every day they're late, that's an automatic 10% off, okay? So for people that haven't taken the quiz yet, because there are 8 people that haven't taken the quiz, that's already 20% off, okay? So if that's you, you need to do that sometime today. If that's you, you need to do that sometime today. But since we can't go through the test like I wanted to, we're just going to jump right on ahead, and we are going to work on our vocabulary because it is officially Module 1, Week 2. Okay, everyone, Module 1, Week 2. So we have 6 new vocabulary words, and I think all of them are words that you're probably familiar with, except for probably 1 or 2 of them. But all of them are kind of words we've heard before, okay? So let me get out our lovely words. And like I said, we have 6 words. Our first word is irrigate. Our first word is irrigate. If you're at home and you know what irrigate means, please type it in the chat. If you're here, think about what irrigate means. Look at my picture. Mr. Connor, put everything away. You need nothing but your lovely self listening. Irrigate. What does irrigate mean? I-R-R-I-G-A-T-E. Irrigate. It looks like a picture of a farm right here. Anyone? Irrigate? Miss Mia has her hand raised. Mia, can you tell us what you think irrigate means?
I think it means spraying down.
Say that again.
I think it means spraying down.
Spraying down something? That's pretty close. Let me check out my chat. Water supply. If we flip that around, Elijah, to supply water, I would be, yes, perfect. So, to irrigate something is a verb because it's something that you do. And if we're talking about irrigating crops, you supply them with water. Or if you're irrigating the flower bed, you're supplying it with water. And normally an irrigation system is through like pipes and hoses and things like that. We live in Indiana, so probably anytime you get in the car and drive past a field, you probably see an irrigation system. It's in a field. It's just a big, huge metal poles that water filters through them, and it goes through goes through all the pipes, and then it sprays on the lovely crops, right? I couldn't think of what crops were. So give me a thumbs up if you're at home, or a thumbs up if you're in school, if you have seen an irrigation system before, and you know what I'm talking about now that we've talked about it. Yeah. Irrigation system. Yep, we know what that is. Now that you've heard it, we know what an irrigation system is to supply water. Normally, we're talking about crops. All right, next word. We are moving on to our next word, people. Dun, 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 dun. Our next word is inspector. I-N-S-P-E-C-T-O-R. What does an inspector do? An inspector is a noun. It's a type of person. It's like a job. What does an inspector do? Da-da, da-da. Connor, what does an inspector do?
An inspector is someone who inspects like your food and crops, stuff like that, to make sure they're not bad or.
Okay, so Connor's on the right track. He's saying an inspector inspects something, but you can't use the word in the definition, so I need someone else to give me another word. Rainier, what does an inspector do? Looks at stuff. Elijah said examines. Eden says someone that searches. So you guys are all kind of on the right track. An inspector is someone that reviews or examines something carefully. So if you think about every time you go to a restaurant, there's a food inspector that has been there and made sure that the restaurant's clean. There can be home inspectors. They come and they, make sure your house is good and ready to sell. An inspector could kind of be like,
Inspector Gadget.
yeah, well, I was thinking like a police officer could be a type of inspector, but an inspector is someone that examines and reviews things carefully. So they're not just, checking over quickly. They're looking at things in detail, making sure that they know what they're talking about. Give me a thumbs up if you've heard the word inspector before. Like I said, it's a noun. It's a type of person, something that they do. All right, you may put your thumbs down. Okay, our next word I know everyone has heard before. Our next word is past tense. So in your homework later, you're going to have to use it in past tense. It has ed on it. It is photographed. Everyone say photographed.
Photograph.
We know what photographed means. This is past tense. It's a verb. It's something that we can do. So if you were photographed, that just means you were recorded on film or like virtually, because nowadays we don't necessarily print out pictures on film as much as like when I was a child. Now, my cell phone, I have a ton of photos recorded virtually, like on my phone or on my computer, and that's how I record things. So if you were photographed, that just means a photo was taken of you on either film or on a virtual file. That's an easy one, right? We all know what photographed means. It's just past tense. That one is easy, easy peasy. All right, number 4. Done. This is the one we may not necessarily know, okay? This word's a little bit different. It is the word prestigious. 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 I want you to take a minute. What does prestigious mean? If something is prestigious, right here in the photo, I have some people standing, and then up front, I have a child standing with a trophy. If you know when you're at home, what does prestigious mean? Prestigious. Prestigious. Dylan Kelly.
Does it mean jealous?
It does not mean jealous. But good guess. So how about Jaden?
Maybe like a big achievement.
Yeah, so you're on the right track. Jaden said maybe it's a big achievement. Brooklyn Smiley in our chat said something important, and both of you guys are on the right track. Something that is prestigious is impressive and important, okay? So if I said, you won the prestigious award, that means you won an impressive award or an important award, something good, okay? So prestigious is something important. So if I said, that's the best restaurant in town, that would be a prestigious award they got if it's the best restaurant in town. Okay? So prestigious is an adjective because it's a descriptive word. You can describe someone or something as prestigious. Okay? Evan, I'm not sure why you're typing a bunch of G's, but I don't think that's necessary. Okay? So prestigious. Dun, da, da, da. All right. Next one. Number 5. Number 5 is auditorium. Auditorium. And it is a noun because it is a place. Westville does not have a specific auditorium. If that helps you think of what you know what it is. If you know what it is, type it. If you're here, raise your hand. What's an auditorium? There's a picture of one right here, actually. Westville does not have an auditorium specifically. And you normally do something inside an auditorium. Dylan, why don't you give it a try? Dylan said there's important meetings. Eden said theater. Elijah said part of a theater. Mia. It's Mia, right? Mia, tell me what you think, and then I'll give you guys the actual definition.
I think it's a big area full of like people sit in the big area and have meetings or discuss something or just like watch something.
All right, so Miss Mia is on the right track. So an auditorium is a large space. Well, it doesn't have to be super, super large. Okay, let's go. This one is pretty big. So it's a large area where an audience gathers either for a performance or a presentation. So, for example, if it was the talent show, we kind of turn our gym into an auditorium. People sit and they watch people perform. We don't have a designated just auditorium, but bigger schools and sometimes churches and places like that have an auditorium. It's a big room full of seats and normally a stage. And guess what? Someone's going to talk on the stage and you're going to listen, or someone's going to perform on the stage. But it's a big room and there's normally just chairs, and that's where you listen to stuff, okay? So Westfield does not have an auditorium. We use our gym as an auditorium, okay? Does that make sense? Some, like LaPorte Schools has a giant auditorium because it's a bigger school system. So some places have actual auditoriums, but we just have our gym that we convert into an auditorium. It is a noun because it is a place. An auditorium is a place. All right. This is our final, final vocabulary word. All right, our final vocabulary word is impoverished, and this is an adjective. It is a describing word. Does anyone know what impoverished means? It is impoverished. What does it mean if you're impoverished? Impoverished. Look through your glasses, sir. Don't have them down on your nose. Thank you. What is impoverished, Jaden?
Maybe it's like that you're sick or you need like a checkup or something.
Not exactly. That's what it does look like on our picture. The picture does look like that, but it is not. That picture goes more along with the sentence. Connor? No. So impoverished, I have two people that guessed it right in my chat. It is to be poor. So if you are impoverished, that means you are poor and like you are doing without. Okay? So you could say like the village in the West Indies was impoverished. You know, they're doing without, they're poor, they don't have the same resources that we have. Okay? Does that make sense, people? Yes? Okay, good deal. All right, now I'm going to start sharing my screen with you guys shortly. This is going to be a brief intermission while I share my screen. And I also have to get it set up for the students here at school. Dun, da, da, da. So, brief intermission. I'm going to classroom, and you have to write each of them into a sentence. So 4 of the 6, you have to write 4 whole sentences. You cannot put the 2 words into one sentence. You have to use complete sentences, which means capital letters and punctuation. You have to spell the vocabulary word right because they're written for you already, and you also have to make, it has to make sense. Don't be saying, don't say the, what am I trying to say? Don't be talking about irrigating with pop because that's not what you irrigate with. You irrigate with water. So anyways, you have to make sure it makes sense. So now my screen is sharing and it is almost up for our friends at school here. HMH, the website, is moving extremely slow today. Like, I don't even know how to describe how slow it is. I'm not sure why. So if you're one of those people that need to take your quiz or test still and you try to do it and it's not working, just try again later because it is really just moving like a snail today and I just don't know why. Like snail. Okay. Anyways, Mrs. Kneifel is going to start talking because you guys in class, it'll load eventually and you kind of don't necessarily need to see it to hear what I'm saying. So the screen that's on for my people at home and the one that's going to be on for you shortly is the Prepare to Read. So our story we're going to start reading tomorrow is called Winds of Hope. Okay? It is called Winds of Hope. Can someone tell me in my chat what is on the picture of this front cover that you're seeing? Winds of Hope. What is that a picture of? Obviously, you people in here, you can't see it yet because it's not on. Okay, sorry. Connor, voice off. So, people at home in my chat, what is on the picture? People at school, it'll load eventually. Eden Swanson wins. She said it is a windmill. You are correct. So, it is a windmill on our front cover, and our title is called Winds of Hope. So, anyone want to give me a lovely prediction about what this might be about? If it's called, the story is called Winds of Hope, and then there's a windmill on the front cover. What might it be about, Rainier? Might be about wind, okay? Because windmills obviously capture wind, create wind. So obviously there's going to have something to do with wind, okay? Are we all in agreement? Probably going to have something to do with wind. All right? So Winds of Hope, I'm sorry, people in class, you're just going to have to listen to me because it is not loading. People at home, I'm glad you can see it. So Winds of Hope is in our textbook, but was originally a magazine article. So magazine articles give information about a topic, person, or event. In this case, it kind of gives like all about events and a person. Also, magazine articles often tell events in sequential or chronological orders to help readers understand what happened and when. We talked about chronological / sequential order last week. Can someone please remind me what that is? What does chronological or sequential mean? What does it mean? If you're at home, you can type it in the chat. If you're here at school, I want to hear from someone I haven't already heard from. What does chronological / sequential mean? We have already learned about it once this year. We have already learned about it. What does chronological or sequential mean? Ariana, what does chronological or sequential mean? If I said, let me tell you about my day in chronological order, what am I going to start with? The first thing or the last thing? The first thing, and then what am I going to say? The fifth or the second? The second, yeah. So if you couldn't hear Ariana, when we talk in chronological order, we start with the beginning, the second, the third, the fourth, and so on. So, for example, if Mrs. Kneifel was, telling you about my day, chronologically, my dog woke me up at 5:50. I took the dog outside. I came inside and I took a shower. I brushed my teeth. I got dressed. I did my hair. Anyways, so I wouldn't say I brushed my teeth and walked my dog because I first walked my dog and then I brushed my teeth. So chronological / sequential is just the order of things and how they happen. Which everyone should know that from now on. Next time I ask that question, because I'm sure I'm going to ask that question again, you're going to know what it means, okay? Yeah, I see that, but okay. So you guys in class, it is not loading for me. You're just going to have to listen to me. Hopefully tomorrow it loads. You're not missing anything because I'm verbally saying it to you. All right. Also, magazine articles usually have visuals such as photographs with captions. So in our story starting tomorrow, you're going to see actual photographs. They're not going to be illustrations from people. It's going to be a photograph that someone took. And normally with a photograph, there's like a little sentence underneath that tells us about it. Give me a thumbs up if you've seen a caption underneath the photograph. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Give me a thumbs up if you've seen that before. Normally, like in our history books or social studies websites, things like that. I'm talking too much, sorry. We see photos with captions, so no big deal. We've seen things like that before. And then also, magazine articles include words that can be specific to the topic or the ideas being discussed. So these are like content-specific words, and we'll learn more about that as we continue on. So there was one other thing that I wanted to show you guys today, but I, so far, have not been able. Let me see if I can try one more time to get it open. I'm not sure what is up with HMH today. I super duper apologize. No, it just gave me an error. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show us today is just not working out. So we're just going to have to view it tomorrow. Okay. So this lesson isn't going to be as long as it should be. Well, there's nothing for you to see right now on HMH, Elijah. Nothing's up. It was just what I was looking at. So I do not know why it is just giving us a ton of errors. So luckily, your homework is not on HMH. It is on Google Classroom. Whatever your Google Classroom is, if you're in my room, it's rotation 1. If you're in CITIG, it says CITIG, or, so on. So your homework is on HMH, or is not on HMH. It is on Google Classroom. You pick 4 of the 6. So I'm sorry we didn't get to do the last thing I had planned today, but hopefully we'll be able to do that tomorrow. So the rest of class today, I'm about to end this here. If you don't have any questions, you can leave. After I give you the code word, dun, da, 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 I'm typing in our code word now. But you are free to just work on your assignment. And of course, always read. The code word for today is colored pencils, and it is already up for you to type in. Please make sure you are using capital letters and punctuation, and you are using the words correctly in your sentences. If you don't have any questions, you are free to leave. Make sure you type in the code word colored pencils. If you have a question, type it in the chat or unmute yourself so I can help you. Once again, I'm sorry HMH is not working, but if you're one of those people that still need to take your test or quiz, check it multiple times today until it starts working so you can take your test or quiz. Because there's still 8 people that haven't taken the quiz and 14 that haven't taken the test. I believe I sent you all emails if you hadn't done it already. So check your email from me as well. Okay? You guys can leave whenever you are ready to go.
Which one is
Google it, buddy. If you don't remember what a word is, I don't know what you're trying to say, Evan. Also, homework or the words. If you don't remember what one of the words is and you don't remember how to use it, then you should probably Google it. Bless you, Dylan. Bless you, Dylan. The assessment was from Friday. If you did not do it, you need to finish it. I do not have a list on me right now. You should have gotten an email if you hadn't already completed it. I don't know what you mean, Evan. What words? I've been saying words for like 25 minutes now. Eden, I already said the code word. The code word was colored pencils. Evan, the words are already on Google Classroom. If you miss the definitions, Google the definitions. Dictionary.com. Code word is colored pencils. You are free to leave once you're done with questions. This will be posted shortly. So now you guys work on your assignment. Bye, Ava.